Victoria Square, the slightly less famous cousin of nearby Cathedral Square, was reopened today after having $7.5 million worth of earthquake repairs completed. Now, excellent reporter Colin Young went along to the opening.
Remodelled in the late 1980s, Victoria Square was one of the few parts of the central city left largely unscathed by the earthquakes. Enter the government's Earthquake Recovery Authority and plans for a radical redesign of this much beloved meeting place, involving moving mature trees from its centre and pushing historic statues to the edge. The No Need for Change campaign was started and saw yellow ribbons tied to the trees in protest. Organiser Mark Gerard said the groundswell of opposition showed how important this place was to people.
I had numerous conversations and all sorts of people talk about radio, letters to the editor, just saying, yes, we want to save it. And it really was. I mean, like going over the counter buying yellow ribbon and people saying, no, they can't change it. And people didn't sort of think about it. They said, no, don't change it. We've got to keep it.
This heritage campaigner is happy the government relented and agreed to instead return the square to its former glory.
In 1989, they put this design through, which I think has been a stunning success as urban design. And it's a space that everybody loves because it's a wonderful green space in the central city. And it's even more important now because if you look around, we've got all this construction in the central city rebuild, and here's this wonderful space that's relatively untouched. You can sit, rest and just watch the rebuild and then go back into it.
The head of the Earthquake Recovery Authority's replacement, or Takoro, Albert Brantley, says there were a lot of opinions over what should happen to the square.
Sarah listened to those. We redesigned it and set up a reference group to make sure that it was compatible with what the people of Christchurch wanted, and I think we've delivered on what they wanted.
As part of the restoration, the famous Boca fountain was repaired, along with its coloured lights. The first electric fountain in Australasia was donated to the city by early settler Henry Boca in 1921. His great-great-niece, Jane Stace, has some strong childhood memories of it.
We used to drive in here, and of course that's when Victoria Street drove down the middle of the square, and of course we were always fascinated, and here was this fountain, you know, and it had our name, Boca, and of course at night, beautiful lights, yeah, and you know, as a child, magic, yeah, like magic.
Jane Stace says with much of the city now unrecognisable, it's great to hold on to some of what the old city used to look like. In Ototahi for Checkpoint, ko Colin Young tēnei.